Hello everyone, thanks for coming. So in this week, we talked about swaps, and I'm also going to do a brief review of all the important formulas and concepts we learned in the first half quarter. So first we have the interest rate swaps. So first we have the bilateral swaps, in which one party pays a fixed interest rate and receives the LIBOR, while the other party pays LIBOR and receives a fixed interest rate. So instead of this bilateral swap, in which both parties may have potential risks when the other party defaults, often we'll do some swaps through a financial institution, which means that one party signs a swap agreement with the financial institution, while the other party also signs an agreement with the financial institution. So it's centralized. So with swaps, two companies can have comparative advantage and using swaps to utilize such advantage. For instance, for company A, the interest he will pay for fixed interest rate is x1%, but for float rate, it will pay LIBOR plus x2. For the company B, if he is paying the fixed rate, it's y1, but if it is paying the floating rate, then it's LIBOR plus y2. So if y1 minus x1 is bigger than y2 minus x2, then the company A and company B could sign into a swap agreement. So B could borrow from the outside lender of LIBOR plus y2, and by using the swap, he could pay a fixed rate and receive a floating rate from the company A. We also need to evaluate we also need to estimate the value of the swap. So for one party, it is paying a fixed rate and receive LIBOR. For the other party, it is paying a LIBOR and receive the fixed rate. So we can always evaluate the value of swaps by calculating the difference in the interest rate. Also, we need to discount the value to its current value using a different LIBOR rate. Also, there are some different kinds of swaps, like the overnight index swaps, and also we have the currency swaps. So currency swaps means that the swaps are done into different currencies. Of course, we have to consider different fixed interest rate and the different float interest rate. So as the second part, I would like to do a brief review of the formulas we have learned in the first half quarter. So for options, we have the payoff function of our option. Also, we have the profit and loss of either buying or selling an option. Simply speaking, the profit and loss for buying the option is a payoff minus the premium. So for futures, we have an important concept called the basis. So the basis is the spot price minus the futures price, and it will have an impact on the hedging result if we use futures to hedge. We also have the optimal hedging ratio, which is the correlation coefficient times the variance in the spot price over the variance of the futures price. We also have the optimal number of contracts, which is the optimal hedging ratio times the total amount over the number of assets in one futures contract. So for interest rates, we have a bunch of formulas. We have the compounding frequency, the conversion of the interest rate under different compounding frequency. We have the bond yield. So the bond yield makes the makes all the futures cash flow, the summation of all futures cash flow equal to the principal. We have the par equal to the bond price. We have the par yield. We have the zero rate. We have the forward rate. So the forward rate is so the formula for the forward rate, you can review that on textbook. We also have the duration. So the duration is D over B, where B is the bond price, and you can also review that on textbook. So finally, we talk about how to determine forward prices. So the simplistic case is when there's no income or cost of holding the underlying asset. So in this case, the forward price F is E to RT times the spot price at 0. So if the holding the asset provides no income, then we could discount the no income to its present value, and the forward price F is S minus I, the present value of the income times E to RT. Finally, we have the known yield forward price. So the forward price is S times E to R minus QT. So Q is the dividend ratio. Thanks for coming.